We used to think surveillance was something done to us. Now, it's something we do to ourselves. Every doorbell, every feed, every smart device, another eye we invite inside. We call it safety. We call it connection. But underneath those words is something quieter and darker. A society built on fear learns to mistake watching for protection. And a culture addicted to visibility learns to accept being watched. Because social media didn't just normalize exposure, it taught us to crave it. We share to feel seen, to feel safe, to feel real. But the more we invite the world in, the less control we have over who's watching. And for one mother in Mississippi, that lesson came home in the worst possible way. Her name was Ashley LeMay. She bought the cameras to keep her kids safe. 6 days later, one of them came to life on its own, and a stranger's voice started speaking to her 8-year-old daughter through it. What he said next would haunt the family forever. The house was quiet. Outside, Mississippi air hung thick and still, the kind of winter silence where every sound seems to echo. Inside, time felt heavy, the kind of night where you notice every breath. Ashley LeMay's 4 daughters were getting ready for bed, moving between rooms filled with soft light and the smell of laundry detergent. Upstairs, 8-year-old Alyssa climbed into her room. On the wall above her dresser, a small black camera blinked faintly, its blue ring glowing like a watchful eye. It had been there less than a week, one of 2 cameras her mother had bought for safety. Ashley worked nights at a hospital lab and wanted a way to check on her girls while she was away. The cameras were meant to be her peace of mind. But that night, something stirred inside the silence, something that made the air feel wrong. From the corner of Alyssa's room came a faint crackle. Then, without warning, a tune began to play. The song floated through the room like a ghost from another time, its sweetness warped and uneasy through the tiny speaker. Alyssa froze, eyes locked on the camera. The blue light pulsed, slow, steady, like the blink of something alive. She waited for it to stop. It didn't. The music grew louder, each note hanging in the air a little too long. Then, over the fading tune, came a man's voice, calm, close.
Hello there.
Alyssa's heart started to race.
I'm Santa Claus,
The voice said.
Don't you want to be my best friend?
It felt wrong, too direct, too knowing. She whispered,
Who is that?
The voice didn't hesitate.
I'm your best friend. You can do whatever you want right now.
The words wrapped around her like static. Alyssa felt her stomach twist. The man seemed to know she was alone, his tone sliding between sentences like he'd been waiting for this moment. Downstairs, her father heard the noise, the faint music, then his daughter's frightened voice. He ran up the stairs, calling her name. When he stepped into the room, she pointed to the camera.
He's talking.
She said. The voice came again.
Go ahead, mess up your room. Break your TV.
Then came the laughter, short, sharp, cruel. A child's room wasn't supposed to hold that kind of sound. Her father lunged forward, grabbed the cord, and yanked it from the wall. The voice cut off mid-word. Silence filled the room, but it wasn't safety. It was the silence of something watching.
I'm your best friend. You can do whatever you want right now. You can mess up your room. You can break your TV. You can do whatever you want. Come on, can you say the magic word?
Who is that?
I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus.
I don't know who you are.
I'm Santa Claus.
Ashley came home early that morning, expecting her daughters to be asleep. Instead, she found Alyssa wide awake, shaking, her small hands gripping a blanket like armor. The story spilled out between sobs, the song, the voice, the laughter. At first, Ashley thought it had to be a glitch or a prank. But as she listened, dread coiled in her chest. The device she had trusted to protect her family had become the weapon used against them. She opened the Ring app, scrolling through settings, logs, and notifications. Anything that might explain it. Everything looked normal. No warning, no alert, no sign that anyone had been there at all. She called customer support, hoping for reassurance. Instead, she heard the words that changed everything. The system hadn't been breached. Whoever had spoken to her daughter had simply logged in using her credentials. No break-in, no complex hack, just access. The hacker had found her password from another website's data leak, then entered the LeMay's home virtually. Ashley's stomach dropped. She remembered setting up the camera, choosing the same password she'd always used because it was easy to remember. Now that small decision felt catastrophic. The cameras had obeyed whoever held the keys, and that night, it wasn't her. She looked around the room where the camera had hung. The crib, the nightlight, the tiny bookshelf lined with picture books. How long had he been watching? Had he seen her daughters laugh, whisper secrets, fall asleep? The thought made her skin crawl. She unplugged the second camera and locked both away. Her daughters refused to sleep in their room. They asked,
"Can he still see us? What if he comes back?"
Ashley didn't know what to say. That night, the house felt unfamiliar. Every sound carried a weight it hadn't before. The creak of the floor, the hum of the refrigerator, the faint shifting of air. The family left the hallway lights on, hoping brightness could chase away what had already entered. Alyssa lay in bed, clutching her stuffed animal, staring at the empty corner where the camera had been. She said she could still hear the voice, the way it said her name, the way it laughed. The next day, Ashley disconnected the Wi-Fi, unable to look at the devices without feeling sick. The cameras, the router, even her phone, all felt contaminated. The digital world that once promised safety now felt like an open door. There was no way to know who had been behind the screen, or if they still were. The house stayed unnaturally quiet. At night, Ashley sat awake, staring at the dark lenses hidden in the closet. She had wanted eyes on her home. Now, she couldn't stand the thought of being seen. What happened wasn't a glitch. It was a stranger's voice crossing through wires, reaching into her child's world. Ashley's story wasn't the only one. Within weeks, families across the country reported similar horrors. Voices shouting slurs, threatening children, even demanding Bitcoin. None had broken in. They'd simply logged on. Each headline spread through social media like wildfire. Fear wrapped in fascination. And every time the footage was shared, the system that enabled it grew stronger. By early 2020, lawsuits accused Ring of ignoring risks and deflecting blame. Then, in 2023, the Federal Trade Commission alleged that some Ring employees had accessed private videos, even from bedrooms and bathrooms, and that weak safeguards had allowed hackers to exploit the platform. Amazon's Ring agreed to pay $5.8 million to settle and strengthen privacy policies. But the damage was already viral. Videos of frightened families became content for the same feeds that had helped sell the cameras. Social media turns fear into engagement. It rewards visibility and punishes silence. Neighborhood apps gamify suspicion, likes validate paranoia, and outrage keeps the story alive long after victims go quiet. The same technology that promises safety also teaches us to perform it, to live stream vigilance, to broadcast our private spaces, to trade privacy for proof of awareness. The LeMay's story wasn't just about a hacked camera. It was about how a culture built on sharing made surveillance feel normal, and how, in the digital age, even fear finds an audience.